have never ever said we're going to go to Greenland and quote colonize it or steal it.
You're not a member of government, so you're irrelevant at that point. I'm talking about the president of the United States doing that.
You got fired from your job.
You can agitate.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about CNN's Scott Jennings destroying Tiffany Cross on an episode of Abby Phillips' show where they have the back and forth debate. Now, this was about China and the tariffs and whatnot, and it's really weird seeing the media talk about China, talk about the tariffs, because the stock market is dipped, but it hasn't dipped as low as it got in the Biden administration in 2022 and 2023, and it's nowhere near as low as it was during the scamdemic, like 2019, 2020, 2021, like the 2020 era. It's nowhere near as low as it got during that point. The media are doing what they always do, just trying to scare the American people, but a lot of us are not really going for it. And I applaud, before we get to the video, I applaud CNN for having these discussions between the left and the right, because normally mainstream media is just one way. It's the left only. It's all that they do. Having the left and right is great because it's an exercise of free speech, and you're able to see whose ideas make sense and whose ideas don't make sense. Now, before I go any further, let's get straight to the clips. Of course, y'all know, as always, I will link to the clips in the description box. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
The trade, honestly, the trade is asymmetrical.
And who voted for Donald Trump?
Precisely. Trade is asymmetrical with China. We imported over 439 billion products from China. We exported over 140 billion from China. Their own foreign ministry has said, we will not flinch. We will not genuflect to a bullying government. I respectfully disagree.
You, though, Tiffany, that we rely so much on an adversary to make most of our goods?
Listen, whether it bothers me or not is irrelevant. I'm dealing with reality.
Important.
You got to answer the question, though, because it was a simple question. Doesn't it bother you that we rely on an adversary so much for everything? Almost like you could look in your house, it could be a challenge. Find something in your house that's not made by China, or at least by a China proxy, Vietnam or something like this. But let's keep on going.
It is important, but this is what it is.
Why does it have to be the reality that we are dependent on so many things to come out of our biggest adversary in the world? They are the enemy, and we should not be dependent on them.
But no, they are not our enemy. They're our biggest trading partner. And if we
Now, you know, two things can be true at the same time. They can be our biggest trading partner. They can also be our enemy, because how many Chinese spies have we seen over here? How many Chinese illegal aliens do we have over here? Okay, so let's not act like we're just buddy-buddy and everything's all good. We have a professional working relationship, but we're not friends.
Earth minerals and you don't.
They're the enemy.
Right. But listen, but like it or not, sure, Michael, they are our biggest trading partner. And if we were to manufacture iPhones here, iPhones would cost $3,500.
Let's pause for a second. Now, this is the argument that I always hear. Well, we got to use that cheap Chinese slave labor, because if we don't, then products would be more expensive made over here. Well, see, the problem is that we get the so-called benefit of cheaper prices, but there's a negative part to that as well. With cheaper prices comes no jobs. So how are we going to have the money to pay for anything without the productivity to back it up? Everyone can't be a government employee or steal money or something like this. Some of us got to work for a living, and we need jobs that are currently being sent overseas to work. It's not that difficult to understand.
American people are not going to tolerate that. We have one of the highest standards of working conditions here. I don't think that we can say, forget you, China. They
so
literally.
Okay. So you're okay. Hold on, sure, Michael. So you're okay. You're okay if we continue to put our own economic and national security future in the hands of our biggest enemy, because effectively they use slave labor to build stuff, and that makes it better for us. That is terrible.
I am 100% not okay with that, but I'm dealing in the reality of what is.
Do you want to change it?
But we need to.
You got to change it at a certain point. You got to do something to change it. You can't just say, oh, that's terrible, oh, that's bad, and then don't do anything. You got to do something, because what a lot of Democrats do, what a lot of leftists do, they kick the can down the road. Oh, we'll get to it. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Well, we're at the foot of the bridge right now. We're at the actual entrance to the bridge right now. So what are we going to do? We got to do something.
absolutely want to change it. I
do.
don't know that changing it means isolating us on the global stage.
So what happens,
with these
Tiffany,
tariffs that
if I
come
could
back
ask,
from that?
what happens if we ever have a military conflict with China and they say, you know what, we're going to put an embargo on anything shipping to the United States. We're going to stop everything. What happens then?
Exactly. 100% correct. And that same question could be asked about TikTok as well, because that's dominating things right now. That's why it's a big fight over it, because in the event of a conflict, God forbid, they can weaponize that application against us. And you see what they did when it had got quote unquote banned the first time. They put up a big notice right on your phone, right when you open TikTok, to call you to action, to petition your congressman to get the whole deal reversed. You see how that works? Now let's keep on going here. Let's get to the next piece where it was some personal quote unquote attacks. Again, it'll be in the box if you want to see it there. Let's go ahead and roll it.
You cannot just go and say, I like it, it's mine now. It doesn't work that way. Well, that is what they're trying to do. And in this new world order, yeah, absolutely. When they're looking at Greenland and say, I like it, I want to take it for mine, that is a very colonizing.
I have never ever said we're going to go to Greenland and quote colonize it or steal it.
You're not a member of government, so you're irrelevant at that point. I'm talking about the president of the United States doing that.
You got fired from your job.
You can agitate.
That's hilarious. Okay, so we got to pause. We got to pause. First of all, the whole thing about Greenland, I mean, it's not even about being a quote-unquote colonizer. Greenland is a piece of land that's being eyed by several different nations, at least China, Russia. They want that for geopolitical purposes. Okay, it's not even about colonization. It's about, hey, somebody got to get it. And to be totally honest, the people that are governing Greenland right now, didn't they colonize it? What was it? The Danish, if I'm not mistaken? Shout out to the Kingdom of Denmark. You have native people there who are not Danish by ethnicity, I would suppose. But that's a different story, and I digress. The whole point is that it's not even about, oh, I just like it, it's a shiny object. It's about, no, this is very important for geopolitical purposes. And then to the next piece about, well, you got fired from your last job, how relevant are you? That was funny, because if you remember, Tiffany Cross had an MSNBC show. Okay, so that ended just the same way it ended for Joy Reid and all the rest of them. Okay, so now she's on CNN doing her thing. Now, some are going to say, oh, Scott, that was a low blow. You see Abby Phillip. Oh, come on, Scott. But wasn't she the one that started it? You see how that works? Listen, don't start something if you can't finish it. Don't say, oh, you're not relevant. All right, well, I'm not relevant and neither are you. We can go back and forth like that, but don't get mad when I do what you did to you. Simple.
But Scott, if you want to engage in personal insults, you lack in the legitimate point, you make up for it in personal insults.
I don't. You
personal
do.
insults. The point.
Now, see, she talking about, oh, the personal insults, but she's the one that started it with the you're not relevant, you're not in government. You see what I'm saying? Don't throw a stone and hide your hand now, Tiffany. Say what you said and say it with your chest.
I am making is in this new world order, we are looking at countries, whether or not they're an adversary or ally, it is being determined on what kind of deal we can get. And we cannot govern, we cannot legislate that way. We are increasingly isolated on the world stage.
No, we're not.
So if you want to engage in personal insults,
we're not
if I were
isolated.
you, I would reserve that for your party who
We're
is
not
increasingly isolated. This blow our position
outside of the United States.
Land, you cannot just.
All right, so there we go. Again, shout out to Tiffany Cross and Scott Jennings, a triple OG over there at CNN. Now, as I close, I want to say this. Again, I like what CNN is doing here. A rebrand, trying to make it be more of a debate show, showing both sides of an issue, not just being one-sided. I like that. That's what I want. I don't mind, the liberals having their space, having their ability to speak. What I don't like is when the media only shows the left. Everything is left, left, left. Like, they think the standard is leftist, and that's not right. Have everybody, both sides, left, right, maybe some that's right in the middle, have all them come together and speak. And like I said, in my humble opinion, the best thoughts, the best ideas will rise to the top. The worst ideas, the bad ideas, those will go by the wayside. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about what Scott Jennings said to Tiffany Cross? Was it too much, over the top, about the whole you got fired, you're not relevant? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. What's your thoughts on our dependence upon China? You think it's not really a big deal? It's kind of overblown. Let's let them make everything. Let's let them make iPhones, iPads, cars, trucks, houses, drywall, everything. It's like, okay, if China makes everything, then what are we going to make? What are we going to do for a living? What, like just try to finesse money from the federal government and try not to get locked up? What are we going to do for a living if China has all the manufacturing? We got to bring manufacturing back here to the USA. And again, to the point that was made, I think Michael said it, we cannot give our adversary so much power because in the event of some kind of conflict, all they got to say is, okay, cut them off. Let's cut all their supplies off for a week, and then it would be over. There'll be no need for them to fire a shot in the war. And if they have that kind of position over us, they can do whatever they want to do. And that's not where you want to have China in the world. And that's pretty much all I got. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.